You know, when the idea for the movie A Walk of Death came about, in terms of culminating the script, it was kind of based off of personal experience. After having a conversation with a friend of mine in Texas, who, through her, thought-provoking questions that she was asking me about a certain dilemma that I was facing in my life, in my own life, as a result of writing the script and not quite knowing where I was gonna get what little bit of financing we needed for this. And ironically, at the same time, and coincidentally, I had met uh, Pete and Angela Sanfilippo, who turned out to be remarkably cooperative producers. They were very open with me in regards to giving me a wide berth to play with creatively. They pretty much let me direct the project, which was extremely important to me. I think maybe they were smart enough to know that there was a part of me that was so attached to this project and to this script that they kept a real wide perimeter, and but they also knew that I was open to input, and in fact we did collaborate on a couple ideas pertaining to the script that they brought in that actually kind of solidified a little bit more reality to the story. And but I think they were, in the beginning when we met, they were very much drawn to the story. They knew I was serious about getting the project done, getting the project made. And I'm not so sure I could have asked for a better team to work with on that. I also wanted to talk with you just kind of briefly about the casting of Walk of Death, which I felt was extremely crucial. And short of being, so presumptuous as to suggest that it was a unique approach, ultimately what I was really looking for is not necessarily actors or per se, as much as I was looking for a couple people who just had a certain maturity about them. When I encountered Auburn Druid, who I ultimately decided to cast in the role of Alex Freed, Professor Alex Freed, um, I got a good sense about him, especially having talked with him a little while, gotten to know him a little bit. Naturally gave him the script, which he was certainly drawn to. But Auburn had also personally experienced what is commonly known as a walkabout in Australia for a number of years. And the walkabout is designed as a traditional rite of passage for the Aborigine culture. Uh, as with the Native American culture, it's the men, the elders, elder men take the young men, out into the wilderness for God knows how long, as a way of initiating them into a true masculine kind of self, a mature sort of masculine. And having known that about Auburn and getting a sense and a feel about, what he had been through, I thought, this might work. And so ultimately, and then once I put him and Sissy together during, some readings and auditions and so forth, the chemistry was just remarkable between the two. So, and I knew from the get-go, that Cece Cal was the one that I wanted. I experimented with the idea of uh, of knowing that there were several options I could go in that direction. One was maybe I need someone European for that, and I had met Susie on another shoot that I was involved with, and we hit it off. She liked the script, so I mean ultimately it all came together real nice, and I think it worked very well, and you'll be able to see that on camera. So when you're doing a film in such a low budget capacity like we did on this one, you have very little money to work with. The production design can get very tricky, uh, especially if you're trying to create the feeling of another community or another town or another region inside of another town or community or region. We were trying to create a very intelligent, smart kind of setting as far as the overall design, production design was concerned. Something kind of similar in the vein of like a Berkeley, and but ultimately we shot the entire film on location here in Las Vegas. So anyway, I was fortunate enough in that my wife um, had actually been to Berkeley several times. She has some kinfolk up there, and she was very familiar with that. And she has just and this natural, innate ability for design and for beauty and to make something out of nothing. Found a great house downtown, which is probably where most of the production design work came into place, where you'll see several of the scenes. We had the old hardwood floors to work with. This bedroom that we selected was actually a bedroom slash den. Was had the perfect setting for the character elements of Professor Alex Freed, which is certainly something to consider when you go into production design, is building things around character, not only just storyline, but building them around, mostly character as well. So we did with that bedroom slash den, we did a complete transformation of that room. But despite some sound issues, it aesthetically it really worked out very nicely.